everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to read one of my favorite books to you guys. It's called A Sick Day for Amos McGee, written by Philip C. Steed, illustrated by Aaron E. Steed. So on this cover, we can see it looks like a man. His nose is a little bit red, so maybe this is Amos, maybe he's sick. And he's sitting with a penguin and an elephant, and it looks like they're playing a game. Maybe they're playing cards together. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. So it says Amos is an early riser. So an early riser is going to be somebody who wakes up early in the morning. I am not really an early riser. I like to sleep in. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. So it seems like every morning he eats oatmeal and he drinks tea. And then he leaves his house and he goes out to work. Every day Amos waited for the number 5 bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. So here he is at the bus stop, and it says that he's going to the zoo. And over here it says he has a lot to do at the zoo, but he still visits his friends. So that makes me think that Amos works at the zoo. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move, run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. So he's playing with the elephant, and he was very patient with the elephant. He said that the elephant takes a long time to play back. And he runs races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. So if we think about it, we know that a man would be faster at running than a tortoise in a race. So that means that Amos probably lets the tortoise win, so the tortoise can feel happy about himself. He would sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy, lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. So here he's sitting with the penguin is shy, so he just sits quietly with him. And for the rhinoceros, he hands him a handkerchief because he always has a runny nose, and he's also wearing a scarf, so maybe he has a cold. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles, and the sneezes, and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back in again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." So over here we have the owl, and he reads stories to the owl because the owl is afraid of the dark, which is pretty silly because owls are usually out at night. And so that's him being a good friend, reading stories to him. And then over here we have him, he woke up and he's sick and he's not gonna go to work that day. Meanwhile at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. "Where's Amos?" the animals wondered. So you can tell they're all waiting for him. They're all a bit confused as to why he didn't come, and they also look sad and concerned about their friend. Later that day, so on this page, this says City Zoo, and it looks like they're leaving the zoo. So I wonder where they're gonna go next. Here it looks like they're standing on the side of the street. I can tell that they're at the bus stop because there's a sign here with a bus on it. with a picture of the bus. Here we have a picture of all of them on the bus. So obviously we know this story is not gonna be nonfiction, it will be fiction because elephants and tortoises and rhinoceroses, they don't ride on buses, right? And they wouldn't even fit, so we know that this story could not be real. Hooray, my good friends are here. So it looks like they all rode the bus to visit their sick friend Amos. And he seems really excited about that. And we have the penguin, he brought him a red balloon. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. I'm too tired to run races today, said Amos to the tortoise. Let's play hide and seek instead. The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. So now instead of Amos visiting the animals and playing games with them, they're visiting him and playing the games that he wants. Amos yawned. I could use a nap. The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. So we can see that all of his friends are treating him the way that Amos treated them. So that he was a good friend to them, and so they want to be a good friend in return. I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you, said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea. So over here we can see the owl is making the tea. The tortoise is carrying the tray with the tea to the table, and his two other friends are drinking tea with him. Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. And here they all are. They stayed the night with him while he was sick. So I want you guys to just always remember that you should treat your friends how you want to be treated. You can't treat your friends poorly and then expect them to treat you good. So make sure you're treating your friends well, and always remember that. And I hope you enjoyed the book A Sick Day for Amos McGee, and I'll see you guys next time.